Cherie Hansen here. We have a day that is on the edge of something. It's cold and it's a little gray and it looks like it might snow. So, what do we call the day? My first urge is always to label. We want to label everything, don't we? So that we can then put it in a Ziploc and put it in a box and put it away. Labeling doesn't change reality no matter how much we want to collapse it and be able to say it is this. I want to begin by saying I invite you to like my YouTube channel, to subscribe. I do post observations that I'm making as the great ship goes through this water of COVID and all the things that are happening in the world right now. And I wanted to talk today about the habit of hoarding horrors. I was seeing in my mind Uncle McScrooge in his basement diving into his money over and over again because he had hoarded it. He had made sure that he collected every bit of it he could and he stored it, and then he would just dive into it. And I was thinking to myself how much like that I was getting myself into. In other words, there is so much addiction to drama that goes on in my body, in my mind, in my habits, and in the society. And so here we are where we started out innocently enough, grabbing onto drama, grabbing onto conflict. We thought like, oh, I'll just put this in the basement. It's a quarter, it's whatever. But the problem is, I notice in my own behavior, it's become so massive that we're now in a place where we find that we have too much. Here I am, I'm watching the horrors that are happening in the world, and there's just too much. It's overwhelming me, but I can't stop collecting it. So I'm going to go on social media and look at some more to see how bad it really is. And I think I hit the wall the other day when I saw a comment on social media that a woman had a doctor who was willing to pretend to give you the vaccine and for $200 would give you a certificate. And that stopped me cold. I'm going like, okay, your habit of collecting the horrors has become so massive, you have no place to put this. So what do I do with this information? How do I process it? And I came to the concept like the basement is full, you can't take anymore. Step away from the horror. Because I can't process this. Is it really this? Is this really the world? And the answer is no, it's not really the world. It is the world trying to work out how to go through emotions, how to go through fear, how to deal with anxiety. If we're constantly looking over our shoulders to see what other people are doing, and that's been our habit in the past. It's very hard to do right now because people are running with chainsaws and they're dragging their dogs behind them in cars and they're jumping off of buildings without a net, and you're just looking at all this behavior going, what are you doing? So stop it. I said to myself, stop relying on what others are doing. They are so stressed that they are not in a place of calm. They are not in a place of grounding. They want somebody to tell them that they're going to be all right. And the bottom line is that people are connecting with their own mortality, and they find it quite shocking. Buying a new purse is not helping. I just bought a new car. That's not helping. So we're to a place where all of our coping mechanisms that we have in place in our culture, we find are simply not helping. So it comes back to the grounding process, the embodiment process, the use of breath to clear ourselves. We know for a fact that when we are in a state of panic, we do not make good decisions. So, right now, we have to ask ourselves the question, how can I stop collecting horror stories? How can I stop collecting and exposing myself to horror? And I don't think watching people kill one another on a movie is helping me out much. The series where I see horrific death being dealt out does not help me calm down very much. So the answer for me has been button up, layer up, and get out in nature, because it's very interesting when I'm out walking in nature. I can hear my head. I can hear the crazy thoughts that are running through my head, because nothing is distracting me from that. And I'm just going, what? Are you really thinking this? Like, it's unnecessary. It's unnecessary stress. It's unnecessary habits that we have put into our lives. We're going to die. Our bodies are fragile. Now, let's accept that and get into a place where we aren't looking to others to protect us. Mommy and daddy are not going to be the answer. We have to ground. We have to learn to use breath work and meditation work to really do the tough thing, which is go in and see what we're thinking. Oh, God. Tell me it's not true. So this is the journey right now. And the journey is going to help us grow up, because we're going to get in a place where we're not just mindlessly collecting more and more horror stories so we can share them with somebody else and frighten the bejesus out of them as well. Just mask up, wash your hands, stay home. Trust that through your actions, your mindfulness, your deep breathing, your calming, that you're making a difference. And that's what we can do. I do not want my basement full of horror stories that I can jump into and wallow around in. Thank you